Well, welcome. We're Quarantiki number 62. That's 2 full months of Quarantiki if we were doing them back to back. Oh my gosh. I would never survive doing that. That would not be good. Our livers would not survive. So fortunately, we only do this once a week. So we've been doing this well over a year, and this year we happen to be falling on Father's Day. So we're going to do some Father's Day stuff. But first, we are going to do a toast because we always do a toast. And so what we have here is friends of ours are leaving. They cleared out their booze cabinet and gave us all sorts of stuff, including things that we don't know what are. So this is a spiced rum from the Dominican Republic. It's actually slightly under proof. It's at 30%, so it's not technically a rum. It's a liqueur, but it's from the Dominican Republic. It's spiced. It's a Mama Juana, which is what they call their spiced rum, as is pretty typical for like any sort of spicing of liquor. It's like every other family has their own family recipe for it, and so they're all different. And if you've been watching a long time ago, we opened a bottle of Candela, which was also a Mama Juana, and tried that, and it was fine. So it was okay. And so we've cracked open the caribou, not caribou.
No.
Cariba?
Caribou.
I don't know.
The drink.
Yeah, whatever. And so we've just poured an ounce into each of 3 glasses. And, for usually when we do the toasts, we do just like a little shot glass and it's done, right? But I thought, I was juicing a bunch of oranges today, so why don't I do something special? So we just took the halves of the oranges from the juicer and froze them and then stuck them into cocktail glasses. So what we have here is just a small martini glass with a half of orange in it, and the liqueur is poured directly in there. Or if you happen to have a larger orange like this one, it fits neatly in a coupe glass. And there's an ounce in each, so they're all the same.
And you say, why do we need 3?
Why do we need 3? Well,
we have
more staff. Studio audience is the word I was looking for. Hi, you've been upgraded to staff.
Bruce?
This usually means you have to clean barware. Is that what staff is?
Me.
That's you? Okay,
Yeah.
All right. So, Bruce, we met through the Museum of Distilled Spirits.
Yes. Online. This is our first time meeting him.
Actually, in person. Yep.
So, yeah.
Which is bizarre because we don't have to talk by typing, via chat. So it's strange and odd. But there we go.
Thank you.
And there we go. And
what are we toasting?
To fathers and father figures.
Okay.
Cheers.
How's that?
Cheers.
I'm horrible at toasts. Obviously, I just keep them simple, and there we go. So.
Oh, yeah. There's some anise.
Definite.
Oh yeah.
Christmas spicing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That.
You're right. There's that menthol.
Yeah, there's a little hint of the menthol at the little cough droppy flavor to it.
They probably sell it as cough medicine as well.
There we go.
Yeah, I would think. And frankly, if my cough medicine tasted like this, I'd probably drink more cough medicine.
Yeah.
Or, next time I need cough medicine, I may just come downstairs.
Down here, yeah.
That'd be easier, and it's less expensive than Robitussin,
Right.
which is saying something considering how expensive some of these rums are. So there we go. To Father's Day, to fathers and father figures.
We've got a David. We've got a Greg Terry.
Excellent.
Dave says new bar back.
Folks are just rolling in.
Chris says tonight's drink is a weak concoction as I'm still taking good drugs.
It may be
David says maybe weak in booze, but thick as a milkshake.
So an adult milkshake, but barely an adult milkshake. So 17 3/4 year old, right? All right. So what are we going to do this evening? So, well, the first thing is we were over at a friend's house and she likes Manhattans, so we brought over fixings for Manhattans, which means I cracked open a bottle of red vermouth. And I like Manhattans, and I like various other drinks that use Carpano Antica as the red vermouth in them. But I just don't go through a lot of vermouth, and vermouth, as you know, goes bad. And so I've always struggled with, okay, so I open my bottle of vermouth, and then what do I do? Okay, for the next 3 weeks, I'm having Manhattans instead, or something like that. Well, so first of all, the first trick is whenever I can find them, I buy the small bottles, right? So much smaller bottle, it's half-size bottle. Second, when you start to get lower in this bottle, transfer the bottle to a smaller bottle, right? So you just keep the air contact lower, and that keeps your vermouth longer. But still, you're fighting time. It's a wine. It will go bad. And then I was paging through the Total Tiki app and went, now wait a second. I don't have to use my vermouth in Manhattans and other classic cocktails. As it turns out, there might actually be tiki cocktails that require red vermouth in them. Well, I had not thought of that, because that seems like a really good way to use up my red vermouth. And then I realized that one of the drinks that I have in that app had been starred by my dear wife saying, I would like to try this at some point. And it had red vermouth in it. I went, well, this seems like a natural. So we're going to do a drink called the Tortuga. And so the Tortuga is a small island off the coast of the Dominican Republic, off of Hispaniola. It's part of the Dominican Republic. It's off the coast of Hispaniola, right? Yes, I think that's right. Hopefully that's right. Someone will post a picture of it on a map and say, that's Tortuga. It also has a reputation for being like massive pirate den during the days of pirates, the days of yore. Your what? I don't know, but the days of yore, right?
So we have a Ruth.
Who else do we have? We have Ruth. We have Chris.
Christine says it contains coconut yogurt, strawberries, cream of coconut, Cointreau, orange bitters, frozen bananas, and pineapple juice.
It's a smoothie with some Cointreau added. Yeah, that sounds great to me. Especially are you guys like in the massive heat wave? Because if so, yeah, that sounds like it would be really refreshing. So my house grenadine is a blend of a craft grenadine and some hibiscus syrup with a little bit of the pomegranate liqueur in it, and that helps keep it long. It stays like freaking forever. So, and then you rarely use grenadine in large amounts. So it works really well. I love the hibiscus syrup in it because it takes what is otherwise a really dark craft grenadine. So it's very dark, very, very dark. Lightens it up, reds it up a little bit. It's still not, your atomic fireball blazing red that you're used to with Rose's grenadine. Speaking of roses, we'll get there. We're gonna actually use a roses product this evening, so we'll bear with me on that one. So the Tortuga requires a 1/4 ounce of grenadine. I've been in that Kansas heat. It's not nice. I also spent I spent my part of my childhood in the California Central Valley. Not unusual for it to be well over 100 degrees for long periods of time during the summer. The only other true sweet component is going to be your red vermouth. There's a little sweetness coming from the creme de cacao and the dry curacao, but the other really truly sweet is the red vermouth, and we're going to use Carpano Antica. Now, this morning, I sat down and I watched one of my favorite guys on YouTube, Greg, who does How to Drink. And we watched the episode that almost killed Greg. Greg did a matrix of 7 different ryes and 6 different vermouths, and sipped from every one of those over the course of like a 40-minute period. Afterwards, he did a test to see how big one of his typical sips is, and his typical sip is about an ounce. That's a big sip. So if you think 42 of those, that's way over. But anyway, so that's why it's labeled the episode that almost killed him, and he freely admits it. Um, it was astounding how much difference the combinations made, and it was, you know, this particular vermouth with this particular rye worked well, and that vermouth worked horribly with every other rye, and similar kinds. There was no, like, okay, there was one standout rye, but even that rye was terrible with like one or two of the vermouths. So it was just really interesting to me because usually, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a Manhattan connoisseur, so I'm like, it's 2 parts rye, 1 part some red vermouth. And now I'm going to have to go and play around because typically my Manhattan is Rittenhouse Rye and Carpano Antica. And, you know, Greg hit that one and is like, this is solid, this is good, it's not exceptional. I'm like, it's not exceptional, so what is exceptional? um, Besides that, the other nice thing about watching that episode was it was interesting to watch Greg burn any possible bridges he might have ever had with Michener's being a sponsor for his show. It was not good. It was not good. All right, so 1/4 ounce of grenadine, 1 ounce of red vermouth, and then we get weird. There's a 1/2 ounce of creme de cacao in here, which is creme de cacao. Vermouth and cacao? Okay. Not something I would normally think of, I guess. But we're going to try it. You know, quite often you throw things together that maybe shouldn't go together, and sometimes they just equal the sum of their parts. You know, you put a bunch of good stuff together and it's good. Sometimes you put a bunch of good stuff together and it's really not good. But sometimes weird flavors come together and it doesn't taste anything like the components, but what you did build is pretty awesome. And we're kind of hoping that's what the Tortuga winds up to be, because I would not have put these together. Okay, so we got a 1/2 ounce dry curacao. Pierre Ferrand, it's what I use. And you might be saying, Pooch, I understand having the small bottle of vermouth. Why do you have the small bottle of dry curacao? Because it's much easier to handle than the giganto bottle of dried curacao I have in the back, because I go through a lot of curacao. All right, what else? Orange juice, lime juice, and lemon juice. So we got a 3-part split on our citrus, 3 parts, and all equal parts, so 1/2 ounce of each. Which, again, this seems like a really weird drink. It's getting weird, yes. It's only 1.5 ounces, right? But wait, let's make sure I put it in both shakers. That would be good. Once again, I'm still having trying to keep track of the cocktail that I'm doing. I have studio audience. I have the live broadcast here in front of me, so I'm seeing comments occasionally scrolling and trying to pay attention to the board that's telling me what I should be putting in here. Sometimes it's better than others, but tonight we get into the groove and it's fine. I get into the groove. It'll be fine. It always becomes better after I serve the first cocktail. So we're gonna count on that. Mix a good cocktail. It'll get you out of a lot of trouble. Won't it, hun?
Yep. I only knew how to make drinks. Me making drinks gets me into trouble.
Yeah, there is that. We learned that a couple weeks back. All right. This is curiously lacking significant rummage. So we need to, and there's a lot of stuff in here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. So we need, we're not going to throw a lot of rum in here. We're only going to throw 2 ounces of rum in here. But the Tortuga uses hefty rums. So first of all, it recommends a Cuban style, higher proof, like 132, something around that. So that's like 66% alcohol, right? And I happen to have a bottle of Polynesian inspired rum from Lost Spirits in California, which rocks in at 66%. So we're going to use that. We're going to use a full ounce of. What did I do with my jigger? Wow. And yeah, apparently it is Bond night on the music soundtracks here. I'm kind of interesting. So there you go. So we've added 1 ounce of rum, and now we're going to go with our 2nd ounce of rum. And to go with the heftier Cuban rum, we're going to add a little Demerara rum to that, and we're going to go with the 151. So yeah, you're only 2 ounces, but both of these are flavorful, kick you in the butt. I'm kind of wondering what's going to happen with the vermouth. Now, I'm guessing here that the Caprano Antica is a really good call for this. I would think that something like the Rossi or Punta Mess might not stand up as well to these really vigorous rums. So we're going to try that, see how it goes. These are going in Pilsner glasses, by the way. Pilsners. And the Pilsners are filled with crushed ice. We're going to shake these with cubes and strain into the Pilsners. See how that goes. Checking ice levels here. There we go. That looks good. I'm going to pull a little off. Nice. Once again, the vacuum seal is actually caused by the fact that you have ice in here that's cooling down the air and pulling these two pieces together. So you don't have to slam them together. You're going to ruin your barware doing that. And I've got plastic shakers here, which means, I can always get them separated, which I really kind of like. And these are just plastic plastic tumblers we picked up at a garage sale, but they got little Tiki emblems. Yeah, so it's really cool. There we go.
Oh. Did you hear that?
I did not.
When you use high proof alcohol, you can get freezer burned.
Really?
It cools it colder than water because of the alcohol.
That makes perfect sense from a chemistry standpoint, which is really the only standpoint that matters, right? Okay, so this is the Tortuga. We're going to throw some mint in here, I think, because that seems like a wonderful thing to do. It's actually kind of a workout, doing both of the shakers. Sneak those in there. We need... we're going to need some straws in there.
Let Bruce take his, and then you can taste one, and then I'll come up and get mine.
All right. So we're going to stick a straw in there. As you stick the straw in, it of course sinks the...
What straw is that, Pooch?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably... it's one of these things. We get them from, who is that? Surfside Sips, which is still holding a sale on their Pride and Diversity straws. As you can see, the little rainbow right here. And the proceeds from those, or profits from those, go to the Trevor Project. So there we go. Good deal, I guess. So there we go. This is the Tortuga.
Thank you.
So the Tortuga dates back to, I mean, it's an old tiki drink. This is like 1939 era. And this is Trader Vic's answer to the zombie. So we'll see. That is quite good. I'm
Balance of acidity and sweetness.
Yeah, and the flavor profile evolves over the course of when you're drinking. Just what was that? It was like, what was that? What was that? Oh, wait, what was that? That's why tiki mugs exist, is to hide ugly brown things, right? There we go. The Tortuga. Trader Vic's answer to the zombie, circa 1939. Had much the same advertising going around it of, I will only serve you 2, or if you have more than 2, I have to wheel you out in a wheelbarrow, kind of things going on. Which is interesting because there's only 2 ounces of rum in there. But the rum that's in there is more like 4 ounces given the proof level. So, yeah, that's it.
That is pretty complex.
That is, and yeah, I'm kind of liking that one. That's a worthy little drink. I may have to. I may have found what to do with my open bottles of red vermouth. So that's nice. And you know what else is nice is there's still some left in the shakers. Because I know that these drinks go away from my bar, and then I don't get to taste them anymore. So to all of you, Tortuga.
Pictures like this. With
If you're going to play with the Tortuga, you're stuck a little bit because you really need the high proof rum to match this. What you could do is back off the high proof rum and add like a 1/3 ounce of rum to this. And if you were doing that, one of the things is, like I said, Tortuga's off the coast of the Dominican Republic. There's no Dominican Republic rum in here. Okay, there. Nope, there's no Dominican Republic rum in here at all. Nope. So we have Dominican Republic, Haiti, whatever. So we have some Dominican Republic rums. We also have some Haitian rums. We could easily do a variation of the Tortuga that replaced some of the rums, moved the rum profile into something else, gave it yet like another kind of grassier, more raw note to it. Feels to me like a Jamaican might be out of place. A Jamaican might take over. I'm not sure how well the Jamaican would marry with, say, the red vermouth, which, sure, I'd be willing to try this with a different vermouth, but wow, I think the vanilla heavy notes of the Carpano really, really help this. Some of the more watery vermouths like the Rossi, I think would just be lost in it. And so, yeah.
Lighter rum than a French like a Dolin and a lighter rum.
Yeah, you could do that. You could use, like a Dolin vermouth and then pair it with, if you want to go light rum, just Angostura, something from Trinidad, or a more typical Puerto Rican rum would be fine with that. Speaking of which, wow, what a natural segue. It does pay to have friends that get to travel, because when you have friends that get to travel and they want to know what they can get you, my usual response is, how about rum? Can you bring me back rum? And so one of our dear friends who used to live with us, in fact, for a while, went to Puerto Rico recently and was bandying around Puerto Rico and sent me a picture and said, hey, do you have this? And I went, yeah, and I got a spare bottle of it too, because, well, I really love Ronda Barrilito, so I've got to have it, right? She said, okay, not a problem. And the other day she showed up on our doorstep and said, you don't have this rum. And I'm like, Uh-huh, sure. And she says, no, really, you don't. This is a small bottler on Puerto Rico. They get their rum from various places on the Windward Isles, and then they age it in they finish it. Sorry, they don't age it. They finish it in port and sherry barrels, mixed together and then blend together, and it's in very small batches. This is actually from batch number 2. They've been around. What is it, since I think she said like 2015 or something like that. They're not very old, and you can tell that it's our bottle because it actually has our name on it on the label. So that's way cool. So this is Scriver, Scryer, Scryer cask seasoned. I like that, cask seasoned. Yeah, we threw it in a cask to get some flavoring on it, and then we took it out. We didn't really age it at all, but still. We tried this. It was quite tasty. It's a nice light rum. You can still pull the wood notes out of it. So it's got a little more complexity than, say, just a standard column still, run through. So there's a little more complexity there. You can drink this straight. We did. And you can put it in cocktails and be quite happy with it. You probably want to keep your cocktails light so you don't lose the sherry and port elements of it. But no, this is quite tasty. I'm quite happy to have this as an addition to the bar. It also clocks in at 45.5%. So it's got a little more backbone than your usual 40, 43, 42%, which is, always a good thing. Stands up well in a cocktail. And I'm really impressed with this Tortuga. I totally found a way to rescue my red vermouth.
Very balanced drink.
That is, yeah. Wow.
Complex.
It's complex, and yet there aren't the obligatory 6 drops of absinthe in it. Here, we're going to really get into drinks for our dads. So we're gonna honor my dad first, and so my dad was Navy, former Navy, and took us all around the Pacific. It was both a lot of fun and a little hectic of like what. Where am I living this year? What school am I in? I'd been in 8 different schools by the time I hit my high school. So yeah, it was like boom, 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 boom. A lot of movement. There were times though where Dad wasn't there. Dad was either serving on board ship, or at least on one occasion, he was serving on a little tiny island that they wouldn't allow civilian families to go with them. And that island is Diego Garcia in the middle of the Indian Ocean. To this day, Diego Garcia is just a naval reprovisioning station and communication station, and they still don't allow families to go. It's this tiny little postage stamp of the thing. I think he was there like 9 months, something, and they don't let you serve concurrent terms there or anything else. So why am I talking about Diego Garcia? Well, because there's a very specific story that Dad would tell about drinking on Diego Garcia. You don't get a lot of supplies to Diego Garcia, and the guys don't have a lot to do. They played a lot of poker, they played a lot of cribbage, and they drank a lot, and they played around a lot with different bar ingredients, seeing what they could do. That is until one time when the reprovisioning ship didn't arrive on time. And as I think there was a typhoon, it had to be diverted. And so their reprovisioning ship didn't arrive for several weeks. And as a consequence, Dad was like, we were used to drinking rum and cokes. We were used to drinking 7 and 7, all those sorts of typical simple mixer things. And by the time the reprovisioning ship got there, they were drinking like rum and root beer and gin and grape knee-high and, orange soda and just about anything they could find. So this is kind of an homage to Dad being on Diego Garcia and going, what do we got? Okay, we is some gin. I think there's some leftover beer in the back. What can we do with this, right? So what we're going to do is a drink that is based off of a cocktail that's based off of another cocktail that's based off of another cocktail. So I'm not even sure how to credit this other than you know, it's a bunch of weird things thrown together, and this is the first time we're making it, so we're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna make one for my dear wife. I'm gonna make one for Bruce. I'm gonna have a sip of one of those two, and then they're going to drink them, assuming they're palatable. But I don't drink beer. I just get, or in any of its forms, ales, lagers, stouts, lambics, which is what's going to go in here. I don't do it. I just can't deal. Don't know why. But still going to do this. The Diego Garcia. All right, this is also a shaken cocktail. I'm going to need one of these rinsed out, my dear wife. So I'll just set those over there. So what goes in the Diego Garcia? Well, our sweet component is all coming from falernum. All right, so 3/4 of an ounce of falernum. Godsend that you can now find falernum just about any of your even reasonably stocked liquor stores. I was going to say ABC stores, but some of you are lucky enough to not live in a state that is an alcohol control state. I get to go on a work journey coming up soon. I get to go to Boise, Idaho. Boise, Idaho is an alcohol control state. They are even more draconian in their alcohol laws than Virginia is, and that's saying something. Of course, I was traveling. I was going to look up what rums they have available from their distributors. They have nothing that I can't get in Virginia, and right, so we're not bringing back any rum from them. Boise did open up a tiki bar recently from the same people that have the #1 cocktail bar in Boise. Knock on wood that's actually respectable. And so I'm hoping, we'll see. Maybe I'll get a chance to run off, and I'm not going to be there very long, but we'll see if we get a chance to run off and do that. Okay, falernum. Yes, I got the falernum in there. Good. So what else? I think this is the perfect ingredient for this drink. So last week, we made the Krakatoa, and the Krakatoa required a Disney-specific ingredient called Gorilla Grog, and we made up some Gorilla Grog, and I still have a lot of Gorilla Grog left. So we're going to use some of this, and because it's a whole bunch of different ingredients, and it's leftovers, I kind of see the guys on Diego Garcia going, we got some juice in the back, let me throw that together, right? So that's what we're doing. So this is 1.25 ounces of our Gorilla Grog. And there's lemon juice, there's POG, so passion fruit, orange juice, and guava. There's some pineapple. There's other things that I don't remember. Wait, that's 3/4 of an ounce. That's not 1.5 ounces, Pooch. That's 3/4 of an ounce. Pay attention to what you're doing. Math. 3/4 and 3/4 is 1.5 ounces. There we go. All right. Now we're on track. And then it requires 2 ounces of gin, because why not? Sure, gin, whatever. What are we going to use? You could use almost anything for this. It does. You really want to get weird, we could have gone with a botanical gin. I could have thrown Uncle Val's in here, or Hendrick's, or something like that. I think this is going to be weird enough, so we're just going to go straightforward. We're going to go classic Edinburgh gin. Should be pretty straightforward. It's not really heavily juniper-y. Should be all right. I hope. What do I care? I don't have to drink the cocktail because it's got lambic in it. So beer has carbonation, right? I mean, right? So we are not going to shake. We are not going to add the lambic and shake this. Don't do that. Don't put beer in a cocktail and shake it. Unless you like being covered in your cocktail, because that would be bad. All right, so the plan here is actually we're going to shake these, and then we are going to add the lambic to them, and then we are going to pour that into the mug. All right, or we're going to do that? Yeah, sure, we'll do that. The other option would be you just pour the lambic in the mug and then pour the mixed drink on top of it and then add ice. I think we'll do it this way. All right, so shake this with cubes. Cubed ice. You got cubed ice. How are people doing? I feel like I'm just talking. I'm not doing the whole banter repartee thing for some reason. I don't know.
They've all been quiet.
Everybody's quiet.
Yeah.
They don't have a name.
Diego Garcia.
Diego.
So,
Diego Garcia.
should it's probably worth pointing out. I mean, we're gonna after this we're gonna go into the Painkiller, and we're gonna do Painkiller because you know, a lot of us no longer have our fathers or father figures with us, and that's gonna be a little painful. In fact, my father passed away just before Father's Day, some years back, but which meant that we were actually burying my father the day before Father's Day, and you know, going out for that meal after the funeral and walking into a restaurant that's all done up for Father's Day, you know, it's just a little more trauma than what I wanted to deal with at that point. So Father's Day rolls around. It's always kind of a poignant experience for me. I'd really like to just simply look back and think on, you know, fond memories of my dad, but it's always going to be mixed with the remembrances of the funeral and that sort of thing. So her sailing lessons paid off. Pardon?
Two-fisted shaking.
Yep. Yep, because we can. I'm slowly getting around to figuring out how to best do this with guests. So lambic, right? So what is lambic? I'm not a beer connoisseur. I can't really tell you what a lambic is, other than it's a fruit beer.
What wild yeast?
Wild yeast.
It's the only people that make beer with open tank fermentation with wild yeast, and they blend it with previous years to have same flavor year after year.
Interesting. So if you didn't catch that, so Bruce says that lambic fermentation uses wild yeast. They're the only folks that use wild yeast for their beer. Well, there's got to be somebody else that does, but yeah.
It creates wild results, unpredictable. The beer is all about predictable, so they always want to know exactly how much of the grain it's going to ferment and no residual alcohol. So everyone else in the world clones their yeast. It's to make sure it does the same thing every time. They leave their at open tank fermentation, and so they don't know. 1 year it may consume a lot of alcohol, 1 year it make a lot of alcohol, 1 year it may not, and so they blend it in a cuvee style to achieve consistent style year after year.
And supposedly Lindemann's is a decent lambic, and apparently it's consistent from year to year. Otherwise, people probably wouldn't be drinking it.
Beautiful for a hot summer day.
So I'm just going to stick
He
it.
says the sourdough of beers.
The sourdough of beers. Okay. I did just stick my bar spoon in there and tasted. I didn't hate it. Which usually you get me anywhere close to anything with beer in it, and I'm just like, no.
That's as far from what Americans normally think of beer as you could get.
I remember my first experience with a lambic, though. You know, I literally stuck my nose in the glass and went, nope, not doing that. No, no, no. So yeah, I mean, there's something about the fermentation process for beers that I just when I was in college, you know, you go to parties and everybody would have a keg, right? I mean, that was the thing, and because it was, you know, keg was cheap and it was usually, well, really cheap beer, and I got tired of dealing with the peer pressure to have a beer when I really didn't want a beer. So I developed a cover story. I started telling people I was allergic to hops. Now the nice thing about that, I just knocked over my mic again. You know, eventually I'm going to have to pin this to my jacket again, and it will be way too loud like it was previously. Just stay there. Gonna stay? Good. All right. So I developed this cover story of being allergic to hops, which instantly meant that the frat guys I was hanging around with went from, here, have a beer. No, come on, have a beer. No, you should drink. Have a beer. To, you can't have beer? Oh, you poor thing. Hey, John, do we got some of that rum behind the bar? So everybody else is drinking rock gut beer, and I'm drinking rum and cokes all night long. Somewhere along there, I decided I really liked rum. Okay, we have the Diego Garcia. I, mm, I took a taste. It didn't seem awful.
We will come try.
I'm actually going to garnish this with
Uh-huh.
We've got a little bit of just an orange peel that I've sliced up a little bit.
Looks lovely.
And it is a very pretty drink. Right? The raspberry lambic really does kind of make that very nice, very pretty. Right. Bruce, there you go. My dear wife, try that. And I'll have a sip of the Tortuga.
Definitely takes the lambic.
It's 2.5 ounces of lambic.
Yeah.
Is it just lambic? Is that all you're tasting?
I think it might be.
It's a little light in terms of gravitas, but it's delicious. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, this would be fine for throwing together what's in the storeroom because you didn't get a shipment.
I mean, there's, in addition to lambic, there's 2 full ounces of gin there, and the sip I had did not taste like there were 2 ounces of gin in that.
This could get you drunk real quick.
It hides it really well.
So, if you got some really bad gin, this might be a good way to go. How old is that gin? I don't know. Here, mix it with lambic. And so we're not getting anything of the falernum, though. Right? No. Although there's probably you're getting a little more of the fruit because of the pog or the gorilla grog that's in there.
The pog is probably accenting the lambic.
The fruit components of it. Yeah. So kind of like a beer-based sangria in some ways.
Mm.
I bet I like this a lot more than sangria. So
we're gonna try. Now I may make nasty beer face.
He may make his beer face.
Yeah, which is really fun. It would be worth it to capture it on digitized media. Okay, I can actually drink that.
That's high.
That does not make me want to hurl, and it's got beer in it. So wow, I'm impressed. But that tells you the links I'd have to go through in order to drink some beer. No, that's actually, on a really hot day, that would be kind of lovely. You're right. I mean, there's nothing complex about that. It's just like, here you go.
And it's integrated. You wouldn't guess it has gin. You wouldn't say, oh, this is a gin drink.
Yeah, and the Edinburgh gin, I mean, is not a particularly overpowering gin, but if you stick your nose over this, it's like, yeah, that's gin. There's no mistaking that this is gin. That's juniper, certainly. So I'm a little surprised that maybe that lambic just, wow, maybe cut the lambic back to like 2 ounces instead of 2.5 or something like that. Well, that's sad because I'd still have I was hoping I'd get rid of this, but maybe not. All right. So there we go. So there's the Diego Garcia. I think that actually fits with the theme though of what do we got in the back room? Throw it together. Is it palatable? Yeah, that's probably more than palatable. That's yep.
You were in a station. You had this.
I think you'd be
making people happy.
You'd be pretty happy about that and not missing the reprovisioning boat. Aside from probably things like meat.
Toilet paper.
You got palm fronds. You're good.
Oh, okay.
Don't do that. They're really painful because they've got sharp edges on them. That would be bad. All right. Star, should we do the shout out to your dad and then do the painkiller afterward? Oh, all right. Okay.
So my father had some pretty decent genetics. I can say that's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm. This
Yeah.
is that goes back with you.
Um,
And did nothing with them. Oh, sorry.
he gave them to me.
That's true. That's true. And we're pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Father's Day is another one of those weird holidays where it celebrates a portion of your family. And I gotta say, there are people's families where the father figure
Sucked.
okay, we'll put it that way. And so, everybody's going around, they're celebrating their father and that sort of thing. And for those people that did not have a good relationship with their father or didn't know their father, it can be a really tough time, right? So, Star did not have a particularly good relationship with her dad. There were good times. There were more bad times, but there were some good times.
There were some good memories.
And so she jokingly said, "Hey, could we
should do a suffering bastard for my dad for Father's Day."
And I went, we've done a suffering bastard on the show before, so we could do that. Or we could do a dead bastard because your dad's already passed away. And she went, "Yes, let's do that." Okay, fine. We're going to do a dead bastard for Star in honor of her father. This is one of those drinks that I would never think to make. It really looks to me like its origin is something close to a Long Island iced tea. And that's just not usually a direction I go. Amongst other things, it starts with Rose's lime cordial. And I know I have my lime cordial. So, I don't use Rose's grenadine. Nobody should use Rose's grenadine unless you just want red corn syrup in your drink. Which, if you want a simple syrup that's red, use Rose's. But some drinks do, in fact, call for other ingredients from Rose's, and some of them are fine for what they are. One of them happens to be Rose's sweetened lime juice or lime juice cordial. And it's called for in basically the whole bastard family of drinks. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with that. So the Dead and Dying series of drinks were all designed back in the 50s as being like pick-me-up drinks. So you can imagine, like, after being on a bender, waking up the next morning and going, "Barkeep, give me a dead bastard." Like, all right, sure. It seems, I don't know, it just seems a little odd to me, but who am I to quibble with history? It seems to have worked. So you've got the suffering bastard, the dying bastard, and the dead bastard, and we're just going to do the dead bastard. We're going straight for that. Half ounce Rose's lime cordial. Hi, Gwen. You missed our shout out to the Scryer rum. That would be the hint that would be the person that we got the Scryer rum from.
Thank you, Gwen.
We did not, in fact, use it in a cocktail, Gwen. We didn't even, in fact, taste it. I just showed off the really pretty bottle and the fact that it has our names on it. That's just totally cool. Half ounce dry gin. We're just going to use the Edinburgh here because I'm lazy and didn't want to have to go back to the back and get yet another bottle of gin. It's dry gin. Yeah, sure, I could use another dry gin, but why? Especially if you're using them in a cocktail with multiple other ingredients. If you're doing a martini, then yes, you want to be very particular about your gin. In this case, you're going to see what all is going into this cocktail, and what are you looking for?
There's new bitters, too.
Yeah, they're right here.
Okay.
I was going to put them here so you could call them recipes because vodka wasn't prominent then.
Right.
So
yeah, Bruce is pointing out that vodka is relatively new to the United States in terms of its popularity. Now, it's amazingly popular at this point, but it wasn't at one time. So if you wanted a clear liquor that wasn't going to add too much flavor to your cocktail, but added a little something, you were reaching primarily for gin. Everything else was brown, aside from maybe some of your Cuban or Puerto Rican rums, right? Which also had the advantage of being cheap. Yeah, so, all right. So we got gin and lime here. Gin and lime. It's not a bad start. Okay. And then we start to get weird. Half ounce of brandy. Okay. I have this tiny little bottle of, you could probably tell, even if you can't see the label on it, just from the looks of the bottle. That's a Christian Brothers bottle. Christian Brothers was my dad's favorite brandy. The man was not a connoisseur of alcohol and cocktails, but he liked what he liked. And so, we might as well. We're going to use some Christian Brothers, and we're getting down pretty close, so this may be the...
weren't what they are today.
Yeah. Okay. Gin, brandy. Gin and brandy. All right. That's not terribly uncommon. Okay. Fine. Bourbon? You're gonna add bourbon to this? What? Okay, yeah. This drink has bourbon in it. And we're not reaching for the high quality bourbon. No. This is what is this? This is Wild Turkey Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, aged 9 years. Dad would love the cheesy plastic flask here. In fact, this may have come from your dad's bar.
It may have.
It may have. Yeah.
And if we're pouring Wild Turkey, we have to do a call out to Max,
Okay.
the man with the Wild Turkey tattoo.
So we were doing a shaker and spoon box this month, and this month was Tennessee whiskey, right? And I realized I didn't own any. It's like I don't have Jack Daniels back there, so we had to go out and buy a bottle. So we bought some
Jack Honey.
We have Jack Honey. That would not have gone well in any of those cocktails. No. Okay, so we got the roses, the gin, the brandy, the bourbon. Why not? All equal proportions so far. Why change anything? We're going to add a half ounce of rum to this. How is this not a Long Island? I don't know. This seems like a Long Island to me. With roses. Which, as long as we're tripping down memory lane, there was a food and drink establishment in Stockton, California called The Graduate. And they made, unlike every other bar in Stockton, they made their Long Islands straight. They did not make them from mix. And so it was the place to go if you wanted Long Islands. And, I was young and stupid. My mother was not quite as young, but equally as stupid when it came to cocktails. And we spent many an hour commiserating my dad's passing, knocking back Long Islands at The Graduate. So there's happy-ish memory, I guess. This does have 2 dashes of Angostura bitters in it, and it's the first time we've reached for bitters today, which seems a little odd to me, but okay. There's 1, 2 long pulls here. 1, 2. Still black screen. There we go, and we're back. Yay! So
Sorry about that.
So that's it for the evening. We're good. See you later. Oh no, wait, no, sorry. We were talking about bitters. We just threw a couple of dashes of Angostura bitters into what otherwise seems like a Long Island iced tea, and that got me to thinking, hey, we got some bitters in the mail. We stopped by one of our favorite cocktail places, Captain Gregory's, the other day, and we had some wonderful drinks because they've started up a Tiki program. Not that we wouldn't go to Captain Gregory's otherwise, but if they're going to start up a Tiki program, we'll be there. And they gave me a taste of this bitters from El Guapo called Polynesian Kiss. Really, really yummy. It's a Tiki bitters. It's got all those classic Tiki flavors in it, but it's not like every other Tiki bitters I've tried. I mean, and I have, the Alamaka bitters from Bitterman's, and I've got Modern Bar Carts Typhoon Tiki bitters. So yeah, I've got Tiki bitters, but I tried the El Guapo and said, I got to have this as well. And as long as we're buying bitters, we might as well buy a second bottle of something. And so we got this interesting love potion bitters. So rose, jasmine, lavender, chamomile, and hibiscus. And I'm thinking end of an evening when you don't really want a strong cocktail, maybe you don't even want another cocktail, little tonic water with several dashes of this in there. I'll bet it'd settle the stomach and be a really pleasant thing for the evening. So I'm going to have fun playing around with that. We just haven't had time to see what I could do with those yet. So, yeah.
Joseph said we were being very goth with the black screen.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, total goth. That was intentional, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It was censored.
Censored. We were talking about Angostura bitters using Angostura rum, and they censored us. That's you're getting too close to sponsorship there. Angostura, if you'd like to sponsor this would be awesome with me. I mean, I'm not going to say no. All right, so we are going to throw some ice cubes in here. We're going to shake these. We're going to add some ginger beer to this. And then we are going to drink up the dead bastard. I could, in fact, use one of the blender tins as a shaker lid. It would work. Done it before. Works fine. All right, flip, flip, shaky, shaky. There we go. Now, 4 ounces ginger beer, and we're going to use reeds here. I really like reeds. It's got a little heat to it, but some ginger beers taste more like they're just like ginger ale. You don't really get much off of them. This is a ginger beer. This is good stuff. 4 ounces. Mission Impossible theme?
Yeah, it's an extended Mission Impossible.
So when quarantine started, Star and I were looking around for things to watch. And as a consequence, we started watching action-adventure series, and we watched the entire Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movie set. And then we said, it's amazing that this started from and went back and watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes of the original Mission Impossible series. Because I remember growing up with this, and Martin Landau, and okay.
It does not hold up.
Different.
The makeup and costuming that Martin Landau was in for that very first episode of Mission Impossible, nobody would have believed that he was that guy. It was like, no, that would not have worked. All right, we're just going to give this a light stir to incorporate. And then these should go into a couple of Mai Tai glasses, I think would be the best thing to do. We're going to pour these unstrained. I pulled out a couple of Mai Tai glasses. What did I do with them? Oh, there they are. There they are. What have we got? We've got Inuhele. So this is the 2020 Inuhele glass, which they did not do an in-person Inuhele. And as a consequence, these were part of a mug crate that we got, and we are going to be attending Inuhele in January of next year, the 2022. Yeah, it's held in Atlanta, and this is Archipelago's glass. So right now, Archipelago is doing this same Mai Tai glass, but doing it in blue. They've changed their colors. Looks really pretty cool. But I have this one. I have a second Archipelago glass, and I have a lot of Mai Tai glasses, so I was kind of like, yeah, I think I'll pass on that one. But we got their really, really cool zombie glass, which has got like Shiva on the outside of it, which is just astoundingly cool looking.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, so that works. Yeah. I was afraid I'd have too much ice there. I didn't, so it all went in. Great. Here we go. All right. So this is our dead bastard. Should probably garnish this with something. I don't know what though. I'm trying to draw. I'm trying to draw a blank. No, I'm trying not to draw a blank, but I am drawing a bit of a blank here. What do you think? Mint? Just it doesn't seem like a cherry would be the appropriate thing. Although maybe. I mean, Luxardo cherry.
Luxardo cherry. We do have bourbon. You do have bourbon.
Yeah. We like that wilted mint look. It's there, right?
Yeah.
And who are these cocktail picks from, hon?
I will let
Dizzy
you select
Diva.
the leaves that you
Think are particularly wilted?
think are.
Wow. Yeah, these are... I mean, some of them aren't too bad, but they are definitely curling around the edges. Yeah, so
Aren't we all?
I would say this has like a little Morticia Adams kind of flower arrangement going on here. Although way too many of the people that I know that might be watching this show really seem to have a thing for Morticia Adams, which, okay. Once again, see the reference to all the goth people that are watching, right? Okay. There we go. That seems like a... There, that's... Yeah, so that's garnished, right? There we go.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll take a... Okay, that shouldn't work as well as it does. I mean, this is not going to be one of my favorite cocktails ever, but yeah, your dad would be proud. It is not overwhelmingly ginger, although I don't think you're going to like it because you don't like ginger at all.
But that's not bad for a ginger drink. I mean, I'm going to leave this one up here with you.
All right.
But
This is going to stay there? All right. Okay. All right. Do you want to... Here's some watered down Tortuga. You want that? I think that's the Tortuga.
Yep.
Okay.
Tortuga.
Because you took the Diego Garcia, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
You
And
wash the
I'm
things?
gonna need that all washed out. All right. So where are we doing? We are. Oh my gosh, we're at 8:30. We've been an hour. Okay. We're gonna do one more. I'm gonna keep you for one more hour. We're gonna do a variation on the Painkiller. And what we're going to do is we're going to use up more of the Gorilla Grog instead of the usual customary ingredients for the Painkiller. So we're going to do Gorilla Grog. We're going to do some pineapple juice to add to that, a little bit of coconut cream, and then we're going to go with rum. And we're going to make 3 of these, and we are going to use 3 different rums. Each rum has some tie-in with why you would want to use it in a painkiller. So let's get to moving on this. So because I need 3. Yeah. And 1, 2, and 3. Really should have done a blended drink. I really should have. Would have made my life easier. All right. So the Gorilla Grog. Another reason for doing 3 of these is we're going to try and use up this Gorilla Grog stuff.
Is that it?
Yeah, we are basically... Oh, oops, it just fell in. Sorry. Come on, it's basically a Long Island. I can just dump stuff in there. We'll be good. I could have thrown it into the Diego Garcia. It would have been perfectly in line with that. All right, so let's do an ounce of the coconut cream. And here, I'm sorry, we're not using the good stuff. We're going to use Coco Real. We're going to use Coco Real because it comes in a convenient squeeze container. And it tends to not separate nearly as much. So the default is Coco Lopez. Everybody uses Coco Lopez. I prefer Coco Lopez, but this is so easy. Yeah. Now what you can do, because this top does come off, you can just take your Coco Lopez and throw it in here, shake it up, maybe put some hot water on the outside in order to get it to reincorporate. And then you can squeeze it out of the Coco Real thing. And we run into the usual problem, which is getting all of your coconut cream out of your jigger. And this is where my practice of putting the sticky ingredients into my jigger first really helps. It washes it out, right? And so what we're going to do here, and I'm going to rely upon my studio audience to keep me on track here, is I am going to, oops. I'm going to add a couple of ingredients to this one, and then I'm going to go and add the coconut cream, add a couple more ingredients, right, to keep the, because otherwise if I just go coconut cream, we're going to get less coconut cream in here, even less coconut cream in there. So we're going to go, so usually it's, what, 5 ounces total of, I forget all of the ingredients that are in the Painkiller. It's like orange juice and something, right? Yeah. And so we're going to go 5 ounces, but we want 4 ounces of the Gorilla Grog, 1 ounce of pineapple, and 1 ounce of coconut cream. Right? Okay, and then we'll leave the rum till the end. Okay, so we got coconut cream again. So it's just the pineapple that is trying to clear out the jigger. And we'll see how well that works. The Coco Real does seem to pour a little better, clears the jigger slightly better. It doesn't have quite the same coconutty. And Bruce, I'm going to have to apologize because I did not put this menu together with the idea of I should show off like some of the homemade syrups and the orgeat and that sort of thing that I have. And none of these drinks are requiring me to go to any of my homemade stuff, which is, I'm sorry. Now, got those. And now I need to put the rums in them. Okay, so one of the rums we're going to use is Lion Distilling. So this is St. Michael's, Maryland. They're local-ish. I've met the people that do Lion. They're great people. I think they put together a really solid product. So we've got some Lion here, 50% alcohol by volume because we want something beefy to stand up to this. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and clear out the jigger with a little bit of this. 2.5 ounces. There's 1. Wow. 2. Nope, I still can't see the half-ounce line in there because of the Coco Real. Wow, that's impressive. Gonna have to switch jiggers.
And Lion rum is totally girl power.
Yes. All right. 1, 2, 2.5. Yes, 2.5 ounces Lion rum. Next up, classically, you make a painkiller with Pussers. In fact, Pussers trademarked the name Painkiller, and technically you can't make a painkiller unless you used their rum. Yeah, bastards. It's all right. We're going to be a little special here this evening. We are not using the regular off-your-shelf Pussers. We are using the 15-year Pussers. So we're using the good stuff. I know it's probably not fair to Lion, but we're going to do it anyway. Then again, if Lion proves itself here, then that's definitely saying something. Little something. Yeah. Yeah. So here's the Pussers, aged 15 years, black box, red label. Yep. And last but not least, sticking with the sailor tradition, we're gonna go with the black tot, because you can. So there used to be a ration of rum given to British sailors, and when the last ration was issued, that last tot was referred to as the black tot. And both Pussers and black tot claim to be recipes that are close to that tot of rum that was delivered on that day. So we shall see. Black tot came to us via S&R Liquors in the district. They said they were getting low on it, and that if we wanted some, we should grab it. And we did. So, so ta-da! All right, so there we have it. We have 3 different. I'm gonna have to keep these straight. Let's try doing that. So first up, what am I going to put these in? I could put them in like tiki mugs, I guess. You know, what I should do is actually put the crushed ice in them that they actually require. We're going to do this one at a time, though, because otherwise the crushed ice will dilute. That'll be bad. I'm going to do a full scoop of ice in each one. These I could have blended. As long as I'm doing the crushed ice, I could have just zapped them on the spindle blender. Would have been fine.
You really want to do a blended drink?
I really want to do a blended drink tonight, and it's just not going to happen. Right.
Well, it's not going to happen on camera.
Well, there's that. It won't happen on camera. Wife, fetch me a glass or a tiki mug that will handle, oh my gosh, 6, 7, is that 8 ounces of liquid plus ice? Wow. I mean, it's not huge, but it's pretty big. Got nice foam on there because of the pineapple juice.
We had a call out to Jeff earlier this evening before camera.
Mr. Kahan, who brought us back one of these very cool Endor mugs from Star Wars. That just gets dumped straight in. Right there. We're going to top that off with a little more crushed ice. Just like that. Sure, straws. Straw. Will this work? Is this long enough? Yeah, it's long enough. We're going to use the, oh no, that's the wrong straw. That's not the straw I thought it was. Oh no! Ah! Okay, so this is the Lion Rum. The Pusser, or Lion Rum Painkiller. Stick some mint in there. There we go. So that's one. I have no idea how we're divvying these up. Don't really care. We'll figure it out. Somebody will figure out a way to do it. Next up, this is the Pussers, which needs crushed ice in it. Wow. Oh, no, it's not done. Right.
Cinnamon and allspice?
Cinnamon and allspice, right.
Cinnamon and allspice.
Not Christmas otherwise.
He is not a Christmas cat.
No, but he hasn't been on screen in a while.
Why?
It's Mr. Emo.
Want some of that? Nope. Okay. It's probably a wise thing. We were just talking over dinner about visiting New Orleans, and here's a mug from Tiki Tolteca in New Orleans.
Very nice.
And that goes in there. And we're just going to add some mint to that because that came up pretty well to the wash line. Just going to... How we doing over there?
We're doing good.
Second one. And then the last one. Last drink of the evening. Well, last drink on camera of the evening. Wow, am I glad I made as much crushed ice as I made. Emo, what are you doing?
He's saying hi.
Does Bruce need you to say hi?
No, it's okay. I'm just curious to figure out what you think you're going to accomplish.
He's in the way.
He just wants to be petted. That's all it is. Alright. Am I shaking these for the same amount of time to be exactly experimentally correct? No. Deal.
You have your test time when you did time.
I could, but even then I'm not getting the same throw, and I'm not probably not putting the exact same amount of ice in. It's just totally unexperimental.
You are a scientist at heart.
We're recording it though, so it's science.
Right. We are recording, therefore it's science. I like that.
Get a grant.
There was one time that we did work a task that was alcohol related. Um, it was kind of in the opposite direction, though. Like, it was not pro alcohol. It was deleterious effects thereof. Okay. And this one gets a Cthulhu straw. All right. So there we go. We got 3 different cocktails, or 3 of the same cocktail, different rums. The Lion, Navy Strength, the Pusser's 15, and the Black Tot. All right. I'm just going to grab myself a straw, a nice big fat straw here, and I'm going to do taste test here. I get first taste. Why is this not all right? Seal. There we go. Tastes like a painkiller.
Did you do the nutmeg?
No, I did not do the nutmeg. Wow. The only time I actually remember to do this is when I'm lighting things on fire, and I'm not lighting anything on fire tonight. So, I mean, I could, but
Gibson, every cocktail I got at the Gibson, they lit something on fire.
all right, there we go. And you're saying, wait, that's just one shaker. Yeah, I keep both cinnamon and nutmeg in that one. And this one just has 2 different kinds of nutmeg in it. One's the Ceylonese and one's the standard. What, Viennese, I guess, whatever. I don't remember.
2 different nutmegs or 2 different things?
Cinnamons, sorry. Yep. All right. I'm guessing that isn't going to change the flavor profile much, but it will change the olfactory component. Stick this in there. Try the Pussers. What's the proof on this? Wow. So the Lion is actually higher proof, but I don't get the... I don't pick up the rum in this painkiller nearly as much as I do the Pusser's 15 here. It's much more pronounced here.
Have both bottles been open for their around the same amount of time?
The Lion's probably an older rum. Older.
Probably got a little more air and mellowed it out a little bit.
And then last, we will try the Black Tot. All right. So you guys decided to trademark a cocktail. At least from my opinion, Pusser's is the right rum for that drink. That worked out very nicely. But we got 3 cocktails here. There's 3 of us present.
Go up and do a straw test and pick your cocktail.
Okay.
It's probably actually easier to do with a smaller
Sure.
straw.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, and this is
That's the Lion.
the Lions.
Yeah, make sure the straw gets down in there past the foam.
Okay. We definitely taste more alcohol with that.
Yeah.
They're all very nice. I would say the second 2 are more to my liking, but they're all very well made and they're very close.
You're the guest. Pick your drink.
I'll pick. Thank you.
Excellent choice. Love the mug.
Thank
Horror
you.
and
It's
Clay
beautiful.
produces that mug. That's the King in Yellow mug. We're going to have to do a shout out to Horror and Clay, who we will see at the Inuhele because they run that one. So
Yes.
You gonna taste that? There's the indoor.
That's good.
That's great.
I like this one best.
That's the Puzzles, right?
No, she
Really?
picked.
I
She
like
picked
the
the lion.
lions.
She liked the lion, but we have different flavor profiles, right? I like a much more spirit-forward, deeper, complex drink than Stardust. She likes the more fruit-flavored cocktail, and as you can tell, I've been talking because I have a Painkiller, a Dead Bastard, and still a little bit of the Tortuga sitting in front of me, and I didn't even have a full Tortuga cocktail. So I'm way behind. I've been talking way too much, like I usually do every Sunday night. But we're done. We've done all the stuff. Once again, if your father figure was not a happy one in your life, then let's commiserate over the Dead Bastard. If your father figure is still in your life and you love them and you're having a good time, the Tortuga and the Diego Garcia were a lot of fun, quite enjoyable cocktails. And if this is just not the holiday for you, if it brings back some memories that you'd rather not have, or just the sadness at loss, we've got 3 Painkillers here. And I gotta say, Painkillers are doing a pretty good job of their namesake. So we're going to call it quits here. This has been Quarantiki number 62. This is a tribute to fathers and father figures. And we'll see you next week with Quarantiki 63. And I have no idea what I'm doing
And
for that one.
thanks, Bruce, for being our studio
Absolutely.
audience.
Yes. Thank you very much. It was great to meet you in person, finally. That's... it's weird because you're not showing up on the comments section here like usually. Because usually we're sitting there during the Museum of Distilled Spirits, and we're chatting away off in the private chat, having a great time. And so this is nice being able to actually. Yep. All right, we're gonna have to clean up, and oh my gosh, this is a mess because that's me. And so this is Lovecraft Cocktails signing off on our usual Sunday broadcast. Love you guys. Thanks for just being here and keeping me sane. And I have some drinking to do. So we'll see y'all later, hopefully. Bye, y'all.